It's the Willy Show.
So, Mr. Jerry, you're back for the second time ever on my podcast, and we have to do this with massive social distancing, but we're not taking any risks. So we're sitting here with our masks on.
Yep, yeah, can't be too careful, mate. So I thought I'd don the mask just to keep you safe.
Yeah, keep us both safe. This is how you need to podcast these days. Audio quality doesn't matter, but this is how we're going.
Fuck that shit.
Oh, it's good to see you again, man.
Yeah, same, mate.
Oh, yeah, man. It's been, well, it feels like it hasn't been long, but it's probably been fucking ages, to be honest. Like, I think, have I seen you since you did your ridiculous level fucking workouts?
No, I don't think so. I reckon the last time I saw you was on the Sunday at the parade ground.
Well, at least the best way was the final thing I saw you. We did a shoey together, and then we pissed off when I separate ways. So I guess there's worse ways to say goodbye.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could have eaten a bat, I suppose.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man. That shit, like, the thing is, I've sort of been like, really foot in my mouth because I was like, don't fucking worry about it. Like, I was all over social media like, this is fucking amped up. It's bullshit. Next thing I'm in isolation and everyone's like, fucking hell, Willy, you fucking idiot. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, damn it. Yeah, it's no good. And like, a lot of people are like missing the gym and everything. And like, I think like the home workouts are like, that's awesome. But you never, like a lot of guys are going to lose a lot of fitness, at least strength wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found that as soon as that gym workout stuff came out, the next day jumped on trying to buy kettlebells at least for home because, I've just got a gym membership. I don't have anything at home really. And everything's sold out.
Really?
But I managed just to get a 16 and a 24 kilo kettlebell.
Yeah.
And then my partner said that she wanted a couple lighter ones for herself and can't get them anywhere.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I had a lot of people asking me about it. Like, where the fuck did you get your equipment? I'm like, anyway, look on Gumtree. And they're like, no, bro, there's nothing. Or it's like super expensive. I'm like, fuck. To the point where I was considering putting my house on Airbnb and having like gym attached. And like, you can go rent my house on Airbnb and then you can work out. And that's the way to get around the gym memberships.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I might get arrested and fined a couple of grand if I start doing that shit.
Mate, just rent a room out, advertise a room for rent, and just make it your gym.
Yeah.
By the hour.
My shed.
Yeah.
Rent my shed, $100 an hour. I tell you, there are people though that are profiting off this, and they're not far off doing pretty much that.
Mate, I saw. So my partner's old man had to resort to buying toilet paper on eBay the other day.
Bullshit.
Yeah, true.
That pisses me off, man, because like, you just shouldn't be like, it's not like, I know we're classified as a pandemic, but it's not a pandemic. Like, a pandemic to me is like fucking a 15th of us are dying. Like, fucking so many people are fucked. Not, like, it's bad, but it's not like, it's not to the point where you go panic buy shit. I'm like, fucking settle down. We're all going to be okay. Like, well, the majority of us should be fine. Stay the fuck inside. You don't need 1,000 rolls of toilet paper. No one does anyway. Like, I'll tell you, if I I'd like to think I'd be pretty good in a survival situation, but like, if it was like you have an hour to go to the shops and get shit and then fuck off in your 4-wheel drive because there's fucking zombies, I would not, like, toilet paper, I wouldn't even go down the aisle. Like, I don't get it.
No. It's not at the top of my list either, mate. I'll give you the strong tip.
Oh, fucking hell, man. Oh, that's awesome. Anyway, you're actually the first guest that I've had back for a second time.
Really?
I think so. I was thinking about it. I was in the shower before this, and I was like, I don't think I've had anyone on twice.
Right.
I think. Well, if I'm right, if someone goes through and finds one, I'm fucking sorry, but I'm pretty sure you're back for the second time.
Yeah. Right. That's good. I'm honoured.
Yeah. No, that's all good. Well, I think it was a mix of like, me wanting you back, and you really messaging me being like, hey, look, I've had a lot of shit change and a lot of sort of things I've worked through since doing your podcast. And like, fuck, I'm always happy to have people on. I hate hate doing podcasts like over camera like this. Like, I guess, I don't know, maybe my viewers see a difference. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's just as fucking average. But I normally, I like that sort of one-on-one contact, but you or me were like, fuck, look, there's no other way we can do this, eh?
Nah.
So you might just have to bite the bullet and we'll go from there.
Why not, mate? Why not? I'd much rather be there in person having another red wine with you, but...
Yeah, fuck, I saw... Oh, no, I was going to say... No, it wasn't you. Did you bring a bottle or was it mine?
Yeah, no, I bought a bottle, yeah. Well, I bought one to have on the show and then one for you to keep.
Oh, it was you. Yeah, I was even thinking it was you or the Dan Graham, who was the firefighter I had on. I think, someone bought me another bottle. Like someone bought two, it must have been you. And then it was like the next night I got fucking super pissed on the other bottle.
Yes.
I was like, fuck this guy. I was trying to do work at home. And I was just like, it gets you. Like if I'm at home just doing shit like online on my computer or whatever, you just drink wine and you sort of don't notice. Next thing I was like fucking hammered. And I came out of my office and Lily was next door. She's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, don't ask.
Jerry got me good.
There was just wine left in my room and I was going from there.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So look, we won't go over, I guess, who you are too much because we did that all.
No.
I did that all last time, whatever episode that was. If you just search Jerry Lee, it'll fucking come up. But more, what I want to chat about is what's changed since then. If you run us over, like, my memory's not brilliant, as you know, but last time we saw each other, we mentioned earlier, you were doing a 24-hour constant workouts.
So it was 48 hours of workouts.
Okay, yeah. Just
but it was spread out over 57 hours though. So I had two 4-hour blocks of sleep in there. So I started at 7 o'clock on the Friday morning, went through to midnight that night, up again at 4 doing workouts, through to midnight on the Saturday night, and then up again at 4 a.m. Sunday morning through to, I think the last workout was at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock at Torrance Parade Ground, whatever it works out to. But all up 48 hours of workouts, and we finished at that boot camp that you come along to and supported me for. So
yeah, that was
and
it's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, it was rough, mate. At the end of 48 hours of workouts, that boot camp was just a good little icing on the cake. So I think Marley got me spewing a few times on video, so that was good. Nice and entertaining for everyone.
I love that dude.
He's a legend, isn't he?
He's only met him a couple of times, and every time it's just like it's like not the person I'm expecting. Like when I first met him, like this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
But,
what do you expect?
I don't know. Not as chilled. He's just
don't mind Lisa.
Hey, see, this is the best thing about podcasting at home. You just have randoms walking out. You'll probably get Bella fucking come in at some point.
Yeah, awesome. Is she classed as vulnerable as well?
Oh well, I've actually been thinking of using her to go to the seniors' shopping hours.
Wouldn't you come under the Tuesday and Thursday for essential workers?
Look, I probably would, but I don't really care. Like I've got what I need. Like I don't know. I probably would. Same with like the fucking online shit. Like for high risk, you can get like expedited stuff to get it to you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I might be high risk, but I'm not like high need. If that makes sense. Like, you know, I don't need shit. Like, you know, I can. Yeah. I've got fucking plenty of food. And I think a lot of people like, they see food as like made meals. Like it's amazing what you could actually survive off if you didn't need, like if you didn't want to like eat a fuckload or like eat really well, you need fuck all, like really to fill out the like survival calories, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it should be all right. But I've been considering the first thing I'm going to run out of literally is cat food. Like that is by far the first thing. I've been like, well, Bella's fucking 22 or 23. Like that's like 150 human years. Can I just like take her into the shops and be like, look, I'm not old, but she's seen you. All I want to do is go in and get cat food and come back out.
Yeah. Just one look at her and they'll go, yeah, all right, in your day, this cat's pretty much gone.
Man, she wakes up or she looks every day like she's had a rough night the night before. Like she's all scraggly and shit. Like, oh, the poor thing. The thing is, she's like in good health. Like, there's nothing wrong with her. It's like I look at her, I'm like, fuck. Like I'm almost, it sounds really bad, but I'm waiting for her to die. Because it's like any day now she's going to die. But it's been like that for like 6 years. It's just been like constantly thinking she's going to die. And now I'm just like, I don't know, maybe she just never will. It's almost like she's in better health now than she was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like the Benjamin Button of the cat world.
Oh man, it's fucking, it's crazy. The
nice
thing. But yeah, back to the 48 hours of working out. How did that really come about? Our podcast last time was well before you even stepped into that. Probably a couple of months before.
Yeah, so I think we spoke about last time. I've been diagnosed with PTSD as a result of my police service, and sort of recovered to the point where felt like I could give something back, and physical exercise was a big part of my recovery. So was the road home as well as part of that, the stair program that I did with them. So to raise awareness and some funds for the stair program at the same time, I just come up with that 48-hour concept. And it was around the time that there was another guy in Adelaide that had done a 24-hour jiu-jitsu role. So he had people training with him doing jiu-jitsu for 24 hours. And
was that Obi?
Yeah.
Obi,
yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, he was an ex-Royal Marine Commander.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
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 So I looked at that and thought, I can't do another 24-hour thing. I'll have to do 48. So, decided on 48, and then looked at the logistics of it and went, holy shit. Yeah, that's a pretty big feat. So, yeah, and it sort of went from there. I got some gym partners on board, and yeah.
And how do you go about that logistics as far as like from your nutrition sort of health point of view in those days coming up? Because 48 hours is proper long. Like, you know, even like a lot of ultra marathons, you're looking at that 20, 25 hours, you know, not, 48.
Yeah.
So how do you even tackle that?
So I suppose I was pretty lucky in that my partner Lisa is a personal trainer, and so she has a good head around nutrition and what needed to be done there. But having said that, I probably did everything wrong from my own perspective leading up to it, to what I could. Like the night before, I drank a bottle of red wine, and I went into it hungover, and so it was all sorts of wrong as far as my personal management in the days leading up to them, and during it, even at times when I struggled to get the calories in. And I mean, you'd know from doing hard physical exercise, a lot of the time you're just not hungry, and to be able to replace the calories and give yourself that energy store that you need to be able to get through something like that, I just struggled a lot of the time. So really calorie dense food, which then upsets your belly and all the rest of it. And it was pretty hectic throughout.
Man, I can't even I do like a single workout, like CrossFit workout, and I'm like, no, fuck this. That's me well and truly done. But
well, the first morning I did, so we had a dedicated workout for awareness workout that was written up by a mate of mine. Ex-commando, current Star Group member, Star Operations member. And that was a brutal workout, lots of running and burpees and kettlebell swings and all the rest of it, just wall balls. So very leg dominant. And then that was up at Mount Barker, at CrossFit Hilltop. I did it up there with them. And then I rode from Mount Barker up the hill to Stirling and then beyond, and then back down to CrossFit Proficient at Windsor Gardens. got to CrossFit Proficient. I saw Jesse there, the coach, and I said, "What are we doing, mate?" And he's like, "Oh, we're doing front squats and burpees." I'm like, you are fucking kidding me! I almost just died trying to get here, and you're going to give me squats like within the first few hours of me starting this thing? I got 2 days to go.
Yeah, and what, like, in the depths of that workout, like, I know what it's like. You know, I've done, I guess the closest to what I've done shit like that is like, you know, military stuff where you're walking all night, or, you know, it's an advanced contact and you've been advancing all fucking day. I talk about, I think one of the unique experiences in the infantry, and I don't think you get this.
Sorry, mate.
No, you're right.
Can we just pause for a sec, mate?
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right, man. Yeah, trying to get called out to go fix the fucking workout bike.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was it? Yeah, so I was
yeah, you're saying in the depths of something like that.
Yeah, one of the unique things that I've had experience to, probably too many times in my career, is like, you know, you're walking and it's like daytime, and then you're walking and you put your night vision goggles down, and then you're walking and you don't stop and you're putting them back up again.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think sort of what I'm more getting into is like, what is that inner voice to you saying, like, you know, in the depths of that, what keeps you going? Because, like, I guess in my situation, it's a job. It's not, you know, it's not, you just do it because you're doing it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have to do that, no one's going to have a go at you if you just walk off. What was that sort of inner fire saying for you?
Well, I suppose I got back to the reason why I was doing all that anyway, and that was thinking, you know, raising the funds for that was good, but my main reason for doing it was to raise awareness. And you know, I had a lot of people that were following along, that were following the journey to see how I went and cheering me on and supporting me along the way. And part of it was didn't want to let them down. I wanted to get to the end of the 48 hours for to basically thank them for the support that they'd given me. And, you know, I had a vision, I suppose, as well, that, you know, to be able to finish it would show just how strong you can become even after having a setback, like some mental illness or PTSD, whatever that mental illness might be. And that is not necessarily a life sentence. So, you know, in my mind, it was partly a personal challenge, but also to prove to everyone else that it's, you know, mental illness is not a barrier to living the rest of your life. Yeah,
and like, was it almost in a way of like proving to yourself that you are, you know, strong and you can push through it and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely a massive factor for it. And yeah, so it's proving that I had the mental strength and the intestinal fortitude to do it, even, you know, when things got so tough during it, which they did, you know, that was part of the reason why I chose that 48-hour aspect of it as well, because I wanted to sort of mirror some of the emotions and physical and emotional sort of symptoms that you might have while you're suffering a mental illness. I wanted to replicate that then within the workout, and, you know, I think that I achieved that. If you watched Marley's documentary, you definitely see it gets pretty emotional at times, and yeah,
fucking nothing. I guess, you know, long, like properly long exercise like that can put you in that I can't do this headspace.
Yeah,
and then you get it done. And you've had that small win. I think
that was sorry, mate. That was another thing, I suppose, was that so it was all about the small wins during that 48 hours, and that was another thing that I wanted to replicate during the 48 hours. That, you know, the day-to-day struggle when I was at my worst was getting through one thing at a time, and having small wins throughout the day. So I'm not sure whether I spoke to you about it last time, but, you know, an initial part of my recovery was writing down 5 things that I needed to do that day. And if I did that, then I was happy that I'd won the day. And, you know, the first thing might be getting out of bed. Second thing might be making the bed. Third, having a shower. Fourth, having breakfast. and fifth getting 5 minutes of sunshine just to get outside the house.
Yeah.
So ticking those little boxes along the way, and then during the 48-hour workout, I suppose it was getting to the next step, whether it be through the next workout or even at times through the next exercise if I was doing a CrossFit workout. So just little bite-sized pieces that you can get through and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah, and I guess just all those little pieces together, like, you know, make it, and eventually you're finished. Like, fuck, to actually look at 48 hours, if you're looking at the whole lot of it, is impossible. Like, you know, if you just, I'm going to 48 hours working out, you need to look at, you know, that next and break it down into like little small pieces you can actually do it in. I know probably the moment I had with that, and I think a lot of guys who have been in the army, especially infantry, would have known, we've done really hard courses, so is you break things down into meal timings. So like no matter what in training, you have to get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have to. They have to feed you 3 times a day. These days, at least anyway. So break it down that, you know, if you're up at 6 working out, the mess closes at 9:30. They have to get you in there at least before 9. And then, you know, the mess is only open from 11:45 to 13:30. So at some point you have to break it down to these, like, you've got 3-hour blocks. And it's the only way to do it is break things down, because otherwise the hurdle's just too massive.
Yeah. Looking at it from a whole, like if you were to say to me at the start of the day, you got 48 hours left of this in the first hour of the workout, I'd say, no fucking way can I do this. Like, I'm struggling to get through this first hour. How am I going to get through 48? But just one step at a time. Yeah. Get through it and then move on to the next.
Did you have any big moments of doubt during it? Like, was there some, if you just run us through, like, if there was 1 or 2 or 10, just like, fuck this, I'm done?
Probably the first one was literally on that ride from Mount Barker to Windsor Gardens to Proficient, riding uphill at Stirling to the point where, mate, I'm not a bike rider. And I'm not built to ride bikes, and I'm going up this hill and I could barely push the pedal in front of the other pretty much. And I was literally looking off to the dirt verge thinking, if I'm going to tip, where am I going to tip this bike over? Because I'm going to be like a turtle stuck on the ground. Yeah. And I thought, why am I doing this, mate? Like, I'm not going to, and that's when that self-doubt crept in. I'm not going to be able to get through 2 days of this. It's just ridiculous. But then you go back to why you're doing it. Think, I'll just get to the top of this hill, and, you know, at the top of each hill, there's a downhill on the other side. And so, just move on to the next step, get through the next hurdle. But probably the biggest one was that Saturday morning. Just my legs were wrecked getting out of bed. I think it took me 20 minutes or so just to be able to walk. Literally rolled out of bed and stretched on the side of the bed just so that I could walk. My legs were that shattered. And then got down to the gym. So I hiked from my place down to the gym at Rock Solid at St Agnes. Went down there, did a bit of a workout, and literally lay on the floor and had a bit of a cry. And then Lisa come down with some food and stuff, and I just saw her and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I just don't know whether I can do this. Like, I just can't do it." So got a greasy burger at Nev's Cafe and a coffee, and off I went to the next thing. So it was a moment. It's a moment in time, you know. Like, everything's a moment in time, and you know, get through one thing and go to the next.
Yeah, I guess the lessons. It's funny that what you've done is simulate, I guess, in a way, of what you went through, of, you know, with mental health. And I know you and me have both been through different, I'll say, traumas, but with the same outcomes of, you know, that feeling. And I guess it's that helplessness feeling of, well, I can't do this. But then taking those right steps and those moments in time to either allow yourself to have small wins, or, you know, take that time you need, and whether it's a greasy burger and a coffee or something, and then, you know, the task at hand is this. And I guess giving up at one point is, you know, giving up on the workout, which, you know, the repercussions, nothing. But then in mental health, if you do the same simulation across, is killing yourself. And, you know, at the same point where you go, I can't do this, you know, half an hour later, you've had a burger and a coffee and you're back in the gym doing something else.
Yeah.
And I think on the last podcast you went through, you know, it's swung. If I'm remembering this correctly, or if I'm wrong, let me know. You put a rope up over your fucking rafter to kill yourself, and then had a lapse and a pause and went, well, no, and then moved on.
Yeah.
You know, and that was that I can't do this anymore point, as far as it's the same as in the exercise, and then that pause. And I think unless I'm blending you and someone else together, that, well, I'm in my parents' house and I don't want them to find me. Was that
That's
you?
exactly right. Yeah.
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 And that pause is the same as anything else. And you've taken a step back, and it's going, well, no, I'm going to have a burger and a coffee and work through this.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, it's a moment in time. You know, it's tough at the time and shit and all the rest of it, but, you know, bad times pass, and you know, especially, you know, suicide's a very permanent answer to a temporary problem.
Yeah, fucking oath. You know, and it doesn't. It might end pain, but it ends everything too. It doesn't end like it ends happiness. It ends everything.
Yeah, and the realization I come to was that it might end my pain, or whoever it is that's thinking about it, but it definitely doesn't end the pain for everyone else. In, you know, it causes a lot more pain for everyone else once your pain's done and dusted then anyway. So that was the biggest factor for me, was that realization that, yeah, it might be me sorting myself out and ending my problems, but it just creates a whole set of new ones for the people that you love.
Oh man, of course. It's a sad thing that it's such a commonplace. Like, you know, it's the thing most likely to kill us is ourselves as young men anyway.
Yeah.
And it's a sad truth. And I guess like I get asked a lot about what do I think the answer is, and I don't know. But I think a lot of the time if people immerse themselves in more shit that challenges them, I'm not saying it's the answer, but it's definitely a way of coping, is to build that sort of resilience muscle in you. Because the more you can, you know, get through and see the end through, the more resilient you become. But I'm not. Yeah, it's a hard one.
Absolutely. I mean, that's you know, when I was saying before about doing those 5 things each day, you know, over time, that was the first little step of building that resilience muscle.
Yeah.
Because that was all I could handle at the time. So, you know, and now, you know, those 5 things, I still to some degree do that. But, you know, those things have become a lot harder as I've improved along the way. It doesn't mean that I go back to the point where, you know, some of them might be just getting out of bed or whatever still, but, you know, they don't last as long as what they used to.
No, and you know, there is an end to things like, oh God, must have corona. I think, like, you know, being able to see the end is so big. So say you imagine you're in a gym and they said, yep, Jerry, we're just going to get you working out, and then do this, then do that, and you didn't know how long it was going for, you'd probably pull the pin after like 8 hours.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about anyone, not specifically you. Maybe you bloody wouldn't, but you probably definitely wouldn't push through to 48 hours. Where, you know, it's so good if you have that foresight of, well, it finishes here. You know, it can't go beyond this.
Yeah.
It's such a, you know, and it may be long term, and it's hard to look very long term, but knowing when something finishes, you know, that makes it a lot easier as well. If you can for sort of foreseeable, the pain ends here. It makes it a lot easier for people.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's all, everybody needs hope. You need some sort of a hope or a light at the end of the tunnel. And, you know, in your darkest times when you're feeling so shit and thinking everything's on top of you, if you can't see any light at the end of that tunnel, then, you know, that's a very dangerous place to be in.
Oh, yeah, man, for sure. And how did you go coming off that fucking massive workout, you know, physically and mentally? Because it's fucking draining on both. It's very
Yeah. So physically, not too bad. I was like muscle soreness and all the rest of it was pretty good. A couple of days after, I got a bit sick, like with a flu type thing, not corona. Yeah, that didn't last too long. It was just being run down more than anything else, and having so much work leading up to it as well, as far as like training goes. Mentally was a lot tougher, and I probably didn't see it at the time, but I can see it now. I think I put so much effort into getting that 48 hours done and all the lead up to it and prepping everything and, you know, getting partners and all the rest of it that comes with the logistics that comes with it, that I thought, you know, I'll get this done, get through it. I'll prove to myself that I'm mentally strong enough to finish it and then come out the other side and everything will be right. But it didn't take into account, I suppose, how taxing it would be mentally, which sort of put me down into a bit more of a mentally dark space than what I was going into it. So, yeah, there was a period of time where I struggled a bit and wasn't very nice to be around either, I suppose. So,
and what place was that? Was it a place of, like, you know, from anxiety or depression or?
Depression, really. Yeah. It was probably a combination of things. As a result of it, I mean, just PTSD symptoms come back. Really, probably. You know, one of the biggest things for me has always been sleep deprivation, and as a result of some of those symptoms coming back, then, you know, my sleep suffered, and then it's a bit of a vicious circle then as far as that goes. The less you sleep, the worse you feel. The worse you feel, the more anxious you become, and the less you sleep, and just spiral down a fair bit. And I definitely didn't get to the point where I was previously, being hospitalised and all the rest of it. But and I was in denial leading up to that, and then it come to a point where I had an appointment for something else, and the doctor said, I think you need to get off a shift work at work and get back on some medication. So did both of those, and yeah, haven't looked back. So much better now.
What do you think it is that you fell into that from the workouts? Like, was it just the high, you know, the work up the high, and then just a drop after it? Or
yeah, I think so. And you know, I had a purpose leading into that, which I've been preparing for you know, such a long time, and thinking that, you know, going into it, I was doing well. Probably not as good as what I could have been, but doing quite well, and thinking that you know, this was just going to be the icing on the cake, another step in my recovery. And once I'd gotten through it, then everything would be great. And then the high of finishing, and then the being so physically and mentally draining out the other side, then going, what the fuck, like this isn't how it's meant to feel, and getting a little bit anxious about that. And then, you know, not being able to recognise that as quickly as what I probably should have then, and realising what was happening, then just spiraled out of control. And I think if I had have recognised it earlier, then it wouldn't have been so much of an issue. But,
so would you say it's almost like the expectation you had after it wasn't meted, your expectations were so high, and you almost felt like you fell short in a way? Is that correct?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, there was a lot of other stuff like work-wise going on in the background as well, and you know, a few other triggers from a work perspective that happened too. But yeah, it definitely all come together that it was a little bit of a perfect storm, I suppose, with the the pressure release from the workouts out the other side as well.
Yeah,
coupled with it.
And once you recognised that, and you said that it was recognised a lot earlier than previously, and you weren't as bad as previously, what were your steps then to take? And was your previous experiences with it, did that influence what you did and help you a lot with recovery?
Yeah, absolutely. So first thing was getting back on medication. Only like small dose of antidepressants, definitely not anywhere near what I was before. Second thing was getting off of shift work. So just basically following doctor's orders in that regard as far as those two are concerned, which meant that I had a lot more structure, able to structure my days a lot more than what I would be able to if I was doing shift work anyway. So it meant I was getting regular sleep. My sleep patterns were much better. On top of that, then getting back to the gym, because I had a period of not going to the gym after. It was pretty much the last thing that I felt like doing after that 48-hour workout.
Yeah.
And then getting back to the basics that got me on the road to recovery previously, with the help of my partner. So back to the gym, some mindfulness and meditation stuff. Lisa's a yoga teacher, so I actually started doing yoga, and which has been a massive benefit. And cleaning up my diet. Even leading up to the workouts, I was not eating that great. So actually, believe it or not, vegetarian now. Yeah. Feel 100 times better eating clean and cutting meat out of my diet. So yeah, much leaner, fitter, stronger, and feeling great.
Good, man. That's, and as a friend of yours, it's not only someone I fucking podcast with, but like personal friend outside of this. It's fucking good to hear. Seeing guys go through shit, and then when Pazan actually legitimately says I'm doing well, it's a fucking good thing.
Yeah.
And I think you being so open and honest with it as well, from a background of policing both federal and state and whatever, it really adds that that layer of like, fuck, this guy's not just having a whinge. It has been real shit you have to work through.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think a big aspect of that as well was, having people around you that support you through it too. So Lisa has been amazing, and just knowing that you got that support is a massive benefit, and pulling me up when I need to be pulled up as well, because there's plenty of times when I need that for her to say, fuck, what's going on? Like, you need to get out and lift some weights or do some exercise or something like that, because I know something's bubbling away.
Yeah, fucking nice. And do you use exercise still as a bit of an escape, and to sort of get things clear in your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Like we set up this meeting for today, and you messaged me and said, "Are you ready to go?" I'm like, "I'm just finishing up a workout," and that was literally Lisa saying to me, "Just go and do something, because you're not right today. You're not 100% firing on all cylinders." So, did the workout, feel so much better now. But
yeah, well, there's
nothing more than what everyone else is going through with the whole coronavirus thing or anything like that. I think it's just, I think everything's a little bit overwhelming at the moment for a lot of people, and just needed to clear out some of that crap.
It's very easy for people like me and you and a lot of other guys that we're friends with to just be like, it's no big deal. We've dealt with the government fucking us around lots. We've never actually dealt with that when it's that, they're really what you take as sort of your God-given state rights are, no, you can't fucking go into state. I think it gets overwhelming for people. But, relaxing, getting in, doing a workout. I don't think there's ever been a time, and I think anyone who works out often will agree with this, that you go into a workout and don't feel better coming out of it on the other side, no matter how fucking wrecked you are. It's like, I know there's chemical responses to everything, but it's like fucking magic, man, what it does.
Absolutely. And that's what, I was saying before I got into yoga, and I never really probably would have ever gotten into it if Lisa hadn't have suggested that I give it a go. But, first one that I did, did hot yoga and come out and went, holy shit, that was good. Like just clears your head.
Is that the Bikram yoga?
No, it wasn't Bikram. It's just a hot yoga thing. So Bikram's like a particular style of yoga, whereas this is, I think it's called Vinyasa, hot yoga, which obviously you can't do now unless you're going to crank up the heater at home. But we still do some practices at home. Well, every day practice at home.
And what do you find about the yoga is good? It's just the breathing, or because I've never.
So the breathing coupled with movement of your body. So I do a couple of different styles. So yin yoga is more still, like long positions that you're holding. So 3 to 5 minutes per position. So it's more of a stretching type thing, but a very mild stretch. So that's very relaxing and meditative. And then Vinyasa is much quicker. When I say quick, it's not overly quick, but you flow through movements more than what you're doing yin. So you're not holding it for that 3 to 5 minutes, and that can be quite physically demanding. So that you need a lot of breath control with that, and elements of meditation in there as well. So it couples a lot of that stuff that I was doing before into one situation or one session. So it's good.
Yeah, fucking oath. I think it's funny you mentioned meditation. I find exercise very meditative. Like, I think I'm very lucky to have a home gym. The thing I like about a home gym is my mind is a lot of chaos happens in my mind a lot. But it's something I control completely, is that space with me there. And, working out as a whole, it's almost like meditation. I put up a thing a while back that I had after a psychiatrist appointment, there's a lot to go through with your own mind after something like that. You go in and you talk I had one that was like 3 hours long. You talk about a lot of shit. And it's the decompression after that's pretty hard. And the last big workout I did was that 1,000 tie flips, as far as long term. And that helped me, so much to break down what was said, what I said, what he said, everything. And that's something I can't recommend more is, after when you need to break something down, get in the gym, think about it. Write down. I put a lot of notes on I have a big blackboard in my gym. And I have notes on there all the time about shit I want to do, shit I want to say, whatever. That's just what I do on my best thinking.
Normally it's on the shitter, isn't it?
Yeah, fucking home. I do a lot there too. There was a comedian I was listening to the other day on like a podcast, and he was saying he always does all his writing for his jokes in the foyer of the gym, because he said he's like, I fucking hate working out. Like, I fucking hate it. So he says, I'm a mad procrastinator. So he said, I find that I don't want to work out so much that I'll do almost anything in the foyer of the gym. So he's like, I go in there and I sit down to start writing, and he goes, because I hate the gym. He's like, and I'll procrastinate and I'll do it as long as I can before I have to work out. He says, I might get like 2 hours of solid writing done and then be like, okay, now I have to do this. Like, there's no other point in jumping into it.
That's one way to avoid the gym.
Yeah. At least you're getting something productive done, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so what's next? What have you got in the works, if anything?
No, I haven't got anything planned at this stage.
Even just personal goals.
Well, I'm still in the police, but I've started a new job there, so I just basically focusing on getting some qualifications and skills out there, a bit of experience. So yeah, that's really it for now, mate. Yeah, just enjoying a little bit of downtime, I suppose. As much as I have downtime, I still don't have much free time, but yeah, just enjoying life, really, basically.
Yeah, fucking oath. We're going to see a Jerry Lee book or what?
No, I don't think so. Nobody want to hear about my story, mate. No, that'd be very boring. I wish I had kept a little bit of a diary throughout my police career and just tell worries from that, but yeah, that'd take some doing to try and recall all that.
Yeah, just investigating it back into guys you were with, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, I did actually mention to a bloke the other day, we should just, when this coronavirus is all over, we should just put on a recorder and sit around and sink piss and talk shit about some of the stuff that we used to get up to back on the road.
Yeah.
But I think we probably have to run it past the legal team first.
Yeah, I guess you probably want to do that once you're out.
Yeah, I think so.
That's like my book. It's coming together at the moment. It's really what I'll work on after this. And I'm like, fuck, there's no way I can release this while I'm still serving.
Yeah.
I'll go to prison.
Yeah, nice.
Well, actually, yes. I don't know. No, like I wouldn't. It's just, it wouldn't be a good light.
Yeah.
But it's something I writing down, enjoyed. I know Dan Pronk, Dr. Pronk, he talks a lot about that writing things down really helped him.
Yeah.
Because you write down sort of, I guess, what you went through, what happened and how you got through it. And he's like, I refer to a lot of that now. When I have those moments, I refer back to it.
Yeah.
It's not just memory. Your brain can be your own fucking worst enemy, mate, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So how's your book coming along?
Not much at the moment. It's only a couple of pages. But it's going to be funny, man. It's I was talking to Mark Donaldson about books the other day because I was like, I need someone who's like not like a writer to talk to about how the fuck I handle this. And having a yarn, he's like, just keep it light, man. Keep it like funny. And I'm like, fuck, okay. The problem I'm having is I've only got like, it's going to be like sex stories and then like tumor stories. And I'm like, how do I mix this all together?
Yeah. And
I think there's going to be a lot of pissed off people after it, just due to
really?
like I want to put photos in because then it'll make sense. You've never been to where I've spoken before, like at a public talk, but it gets pretty rowdy. But that's sort of very confined, like no one's buying it or recording it. But I think it'll be interesting when people see a photo of them. Oh fuck! I had a few guys are actually out there in other jobs, other government positions. When I put up a thing on Facebook and I was like, yeah, starting my book, documenting all the shit I've done. And then I put up the photo of that black guy and he's just like pouring sweat. And it was like, and I captioned like all my mates done shit with me right now. And then now I'm writing it down. And I had like 3 or 4 dudes inbox like, you're about to ruin my whole career.
No names.
Of course I'm not, but like, they're like, oh no. But it'll be fun, man. I'm actually, I'm enjoying doing it. I brought it up with yourself because it's almost like I'm remembering things I wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah, okay.
So I start down. So not to ruin a surprise for anyone, but the first, because I wrote in like the beginning, I'm like, look, I'm not a writer. I fucking barely finished school. Fucking don't expect too much. Like there will be spelling mistakes. There'll be all this other shit. I'm going to self-publish and edit. So fucking strap in. And then I'm like, and you know, I know the beginning of anything's rough. The beginning of podcasts, beginning of whatever. So the first chapter is called Losing My Virginity. because I'm like, fuck it. What is the most like awkward fucking moment where you're not doing shit well? That. And so that's how I'm going to start. So I'm going to start there and we can only go up from here. And I'm writing about like school and I'm like, fuck. And I remember something. I'm like, it's funny. Your mind tends to remember really happy things.
Yeah.
And man, like writing it down, I'm like, fuck, that was funny, or think of a story or whatever. The problem I'm going to have is how many words, because I looked up, like a memoir is only like 80,000 words. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to struggle to fit a lot into this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It'll be a laugh either way.
I'm sure it'll be very entertaining, mate. I look forward to that.
Send it to someone, try and get a movie made.
Yeah, the life of Willy.
Fuck, that'd be the least entertaining thing ever. Just be drinking and
shoeies.
Oh, mate, that fucking shoey. So for those of you who don't know, a lot of people probably seen the photo, but you and me at the end of your 48-hour fucking workouts did a shoey of your crusty old shoes.
48 hours I've worn those shoes for, and you drank out of it.
Sweat and mud and shit. Epic.
Mate, if that doesn't cure you, nothing will.
So yeah, exactly. I've said that. And, well, show me the science that, drinking whiskey and doing shoeies doesn't cure cancer. There's no science. There's no science supporting it, but there's none not supporting it either.
Yeah.
Like until Dr. Tio has done some clinical trials and that shit, I'll continue to do it.
I was going to say, get Dr. Tio to have a check into that. You can do some research.
Get him doing one with me.
Yeah, that'd be classic, mate. If you could do that.
Yeah. Imagine that. I think although he's pretty funny, man. Like he is the hardest bloke I should say I've ever talked to in my life. Hey?
Really?
Oh, he's so smart. I seemed like a fucking idiot. Like I'm just like, I don't understand shit. Like, like not only do you understand what I'm talking about, but you understand the psychology of why I'm talking about it, and probably like 5 more levels that I don't even realize.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, man, you're clever as fuck. Like, put me down.
That's who you want working on you, though, isn't it, mate?
Oh yeah, fucking oath. They don't want me working on me. Like, I don't want someone coming in half cut, hungover, and just like, we're doing brain surgery.
Yeah, with a steak knife.
No, fuck, imagine that shit. Oh,
no way. So what have you been doing on isolation, mate?
Man, I've just been like literally trying to keep myself busy because I know shit starts going wrong once you're bored. That's when your mind plays tricks on you. So you've probably seen Cooking with Willy on Instagram.
I have, mate. Yeah.
But I've actually been busy. Like I've been writing and I've been trying to read a lot more. And my memory's fading. Well, I don't know if it's fading, but it's definitely faded really bad. So I've been trying to read more to keep that intact. But just, the usual working out. I'm fucking lucky to have a home gym, like fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Taking the piss out of my mates. Every time I go work out, I text like half my mates, like, hey, just let you know I'm in the gym, send them my phone. I'm like, yeah, fuck, you're a prick.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about yourself, man?
Well, I'm not isolated at all. So, still working, but doing a little bit of work from home, a couple of days a week at least when I can.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that the role I'm in now is Monday to Friday on day shift. So, and not as operational. I'm still operational, but I'm not having contact with members of the public or anything like that in the role that I'm in now. So, I'm able to do that work from home, which is handy. So apart from that, mate, just training, hanging out with the partner and my boys, and enjoying life, mate. Yeah, good. So like I was saying before, I'll do one yoga session a day, and then usually a strength every day, and if I could fit it in, a little bit of cardio as well. But I'm not real big on the cardio at the moment, mate. So But although I've lost a lot of weight, so I don't really need to at the moment.
Is that through being your switch to vegetarianism?
Yeah. So over since December 2018, I've lost 22 kilos.
Shit.
The vast majority of that. So to give you an indication, around the workout for awareness, I was about 94, 95 kilos. And I'm 84 now. So with not much less muscle mass. So a lot of it has been because of the vegetarian diet.
Yeah, just tripping down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. A lot of people listen to that going, yeah, that's it, I'm eating veggies. Are you struggling to get fresh stuff at the moment with all these fucking panic buying?
Nah, not at all. We shop at the Green Shed at Gumaraka.
Yeah.
So a lot of organic food and direct from, farmers markets and stuff from out there. So supporting local growers, and they grow their own stuff there as well. So whatever they don't grow, they get in from locals. And it's plenty. Although there is a lot more people going there now than what there has been previously. So no issues.
I can't get over fucking panic buyers.
Oh, mate, there's enough for everyone to go around.
And like Woolies were like, bro, we have like someone say, bro, they're like, we have so much shit in stock. Like, don't worry. And then it's like, nah. It really pissed me off at society, like seeing people do it. I know it's only the 1%. Well, it's not. It must be like the 5 or 10%. But I'm like, you 5-10% just don't give a fuck.
No.
Like, where's your sense of Australianism? That
to be buying toilet paper and selling it on eBay to people that are that desperate to be buying toilet paper on eBay, that's pretty low.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit, man. You've got people like that, and then you've got on the other side these companies that have completely stopped production of their own shit to make respirators and shit. Like you've got that other side. Like, fucking hell, that's awesome. Like I'm not sure if you're into cars, but Walkinshaw, who's one of the Vert Supercar teams, because like the Vert Supercars has been like pretty much scrapped for the year, they're making the fucking breathing apparatus shit.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just like they're like, well, we have a lot of the tools and everything to do it.
Yeah.
Like we're employing guys to work anyway. Why not do this? And it's like, fuck, it's good to see that shit, but on the other side, it's like we wouldn't need it unless these people are pricks about it.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a concern. My concern isn't with the illness; it's with the fallout of these fucking idiots.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that it doesn't come to that.
Oh, fucking oath. And on another topic, man, I just thought of it then. If someone came to you, or if you could go back in time and look at yourself in like when you're struggling, what would be, other than sort of seeking professional help, what would be like your first sort of steps in? So like, say you've just recognised that I am struggling with this. I need to do something. What would be your go-to from there?
So for me personally, well, like once I got the ball rolling with getting treatment, I think that I really did as much as I could right then that I possibly could. The only thing I would say is not to stick my head in the sand and get help a lot earlier than what I did. So, but once I got the ball rolling, it was all about getting the right team of people around me. So psychologist, psychiatrist, GP, and, family and friends and support, and as well is what I call my team, that are going to be the best for you. So psychologists and psychiatrists are probably the most important, I would say. So you need to find some people that you get along with, and as you know, and you've spoken about before, you're not ever going to click with everyone that you come into contact with. So it might be trying a few different people that you do that strike a chord. But apart from that, I reckon more the mistakes that I've made have been along the way as opposed to initially. So it's more learning how to recognise the signs that I might be going backwards, like after the workout for awareness, and not taking such big wake up calls for me to then realise that I'm having issues and need to address them there and then, which is what happened, last year after workout for awareness. And thank goodness it did, because I didn't go back into the hole that I was previously. But, I do need to get better at being able to recognise that.
Do you think like every time you go back, you have sort of a relapse, I guess, the better you get at sort of seeing that sign and then moving on through it?
Yeah, I think I was better at seeing the sign, not anywhere near as good as where I should have been, but definitely much better at. So I had all the tools then to know what I needed to do to get back on track as quick as I possibly could. So my recovery from that, because I wasn't so far down the path, and also because I had the tools then to be able to know what works for my recovery, it was just a matter of implementing that right off the bat. It's like training for anything, like you train so that you're ready for war, I suppose. And, I liken, learning about yourself mentally is training for when shit goes bad and you do start to struggle mentally, then you have those tools in your toolbox and to be able to come back and fight against your mental illness. So,
and if you found a lot of people, since you've been pretty open and honest about everything, you find a lot of people have come to you, both in your professional sense and almost online, that have dealt with this and like have related things to what you've gone through?
Yeah, I think people are more likely to open up to you because they know that you've been vulnerable yourself and you have an understanding of where people are coming from and what they're going through. And I suppose not that I give advice, I'll tell people what worked for me, and it's up to them to whether they're going to implement it or not, and they still need to get their own medical advice and all the rest of it. But at least it gives them somewhere to start and some perspective, and know that they're not alone. They're not the only person that's ever gone through it. So yeah, definitely more people will reach out knowing that you're willing to talk about it.
Yeah. And that's a good thing, man. It's a good thing to be almost a bit of a light for people, and I'm sure there's lots of people that aren't outspoken that see it and see what you're doing and think, fuck, like you have a positive influence on them.
Yeah, I hope so. And that was why I wanted to really get through that 48 hours as well. That was something that kept driving me to get through, just to show that, just because you've struggled doesn't mean that that's it. It's not over. It's not all over.
Oh, fuck no. No, not at all. Well, man, I reckon we might finish up.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to chat about? I'm fucking isolation. I'm fucking free.
You'd talk about anything, wouldn't you?
Oh, mate, I talk about that's my problem. Is I do talk about anything and everything. Get myself in trouble with a lot of people.
Do you?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Just with like, you can't fucking say that on camera, and I'm like, well, sorry, it's been fucking late. Same with my talks. Like, my talk opens most of the time with a sex story, and that links into the rest of the talk. I've had people just in the crowd just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, who have you had in to talk?
Yeah. Where did you get this guy from?
Yeah, man, it's just like, who the fuck is this? But then it gets serious. I think then they're like, okay, he's not just all full of shit.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, I found the biggest thing is if you're just open and honest about shit, that no one can really hold anything against you if you're open about it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I thought right from the beginning when I started suffering. Like, why am I going to hide it? And I reckon I said to you last time was, people make up their own shit anyway, so I may as well just tell people the truth, and then they don't have to make anything up.
Yeah, fucking hell. Oh, mate, if people are going to be, I don't know why, but people are going to be full of shit anyway. So, may as well get out there. And I guess me and the public eye bit through like, my socials, I'm like, fuck, there's going to be this shit. This shit is bound to come out anyway. So if I'm just like already out there and be like, as if that's fucking new.
Yeah. So what? Refer to the 10 posts ago that I put up. I talked about that exact same scenario. Yeah. Screw you.
And I think once I'm out of the military, it'll get a lot more savage on my
Good. Look forward to that, mate.
Oh yeah, you'll have to once my book comes to.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good laugh.
Yeah. Good stuff, mate. Good stuff.
Righto, man. Well, you keep doing what you're doing, looking after yourself.
I will, mate. You too.
Fuck, we talk shit anyway offline.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, man, thanks for coming back on. I know it was a bit of a invite from both parties, but I try to do more of these podcasts. I had a massive break for a while.
Yeah.
Like we had like season 1 of the show, and then season 2 there was a guy I was waiting on to start with season 2 because I wanted to start with him. And it just never came to fruition. And I was like, oh, fuck. And so I had a bit of a break, and then this happened. So we're back into it. Most of them will be, I guess on not Skype, but Zoom like this, as far as why this fucking this virus takes hold of us.
Yeah.
Well, it's always a pleasure, bro.
Same, mate. Same. You look after yourself, mate.
Oh, always, mate. You too.
Legend.
See you, bro.
Cheers, mate. See you, mate.
Hey, guys. Thanks for watching that highlight clip of The Willy Show. To watch the rest of this episode, in the bio, there will be a link to the rest of that full episode. To support this channel, please subscribe. And also, if you want to support me directly, there's a link in the bio for that as well. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. And I'm always happy to reply to any comments or any feedback. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the rest of it.